I'm going to give my way to early thoughts on the 2026 Baylor football schedule. I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. And I know I need to see the rosters first. Obviously, both in terms of like who's returning, who's not, what the additions are, whether it's through the transfer portal, freshmen, or even JUCO ranks, whether it's now or enrolling in the summer. So that's a big thing to note here. And obviously, injuries could happen in the spring as well. So we don't know any of that right now. September 5th, Baylor plays Auburn and Atlanta, Georgia. Mars City's been stadium in a quote neutral site game, but let's be real, it's close to a home game in terms of distance for Auburn as you could get when compared to Baylor. The following week, you get Prairie View A&M at home. That should be a win no matter what. If Baylor loses that game, obviously there's bigger issues. Same thing goes for Louisiana Tech on September 19th, the following game. Yeah, I don't anticipate that being a loss, but if they lose that, that's a big problem. Then you get Colorado home. Colorado wasn't that great last year, and I don't know how great they're going to be this year. That's September 26th. Then October 3rd, you got Arizona State on the road. It's not like the most difficult road environment, in my opinion. They're losing a lot of production on both sides of the ball. I'm just waiting and seeing on Arizona State. Then there's TCU at home, like on October 17th. Yeah, there is a bye week prior to this game, and that is big. And both these teams have bye weeks before the week before anyway. So, and TCU is losing their starting quarterback to Indiana. Some other pieces gone as well on both sides of the ball. So we have to wait and see about them. October 24th, you got to go on the road to Kansas. Kansas, the last 2 years have not been that great, to say the least. And Baylor owns Kansas since 2008. I mean, seriously. Then either like October 30th, which I've seen on like and heard from UCF website, or 31st on Halloween, you got to go on the road to UCF. That could be an interesting road environment, but it's not like UCF is the most intimidating one in the Big 12. Let's be real. Remember, in 2023, somehow Baylor beat UCF at UCF. And I don't know how good UCF is going to really be. Then November 7th, you get Iowa State at home. They're doing with a brand new team and a brand new head coach. I don't know how good they're going to be. I wish that game against Iowa State was earlier, to be honest. That way it doesn't give Iowa State so much time to figure things out. Then back-to-back tough games coming up. November 14th, you got to go on the road to BYU. I'm calling that a definite loss right now. Environment, look at how much they potentially return. Seriously. Then you get Texas Tech at home. November 21st. Great, yeah, get them at home, but it's going to be tough. I do think Texas Tech will lose a game somewhere this year. I just don't know where. And Dave Aranda does own the head-to-head advantage against Joey McGuire, but both those games that he won were on the road in Lubbock in convincing fashion at that. So you got to keep that in mind. Then the last game, you got to go on the road to Houston, November 28th. I don't know what to make of Houston from last year, honestly. They barely beat Oregon State, who fired their head coach later on. They barely beat Baylor on the road last year. They barely beat UCF on the road. You know, all those three teams didn't even make a bowl. And they even lost to West Virginia, who did not even make a bowl game last year in Houston. It's not even mentioning they barely beat a LSU team that was depleted in their bowl game. So, yeah. I'm not entirely sold on their record from last year on Houston. I just got to see what they bring in and all that. And it's not like Houston has some great road environment by any means. They even lost to TCU at home last year, too. So it's not like they're invincible at home. They were like an away team of away teams last year. 6-0 on the road. And they did also lose the Texas Tech Texas Tech at home last year, too. So they were 3-3 at home, but 6-0 on the road. They have to be better at home this year. I'm just saying, if they want to even think about being a Big 12 title contender. So, my way too early thoughts. Tough November, especially the last 3 games. I will say, though, if Baylor does beat Auburn, they should start 4-0 prior to the Arizona State game at Arizona State. And obviously, if they win that, they could be 5-0 or at worst 4-1. And then there'll be some juice going to that TCU game, like on October 17th. That's possible. I mean, and obviously, they own Kansas in football until proven otherwise. Baylor should beat Kansas. I think Baylor could also beat UCF at UCF, and I think they should. I think right now, I think they should beat Iowa State as well. I don't care. It's way too early to say that, but it's the truth. But if you want to say Auburn's a loss and Arizona State's a loss, then fine. Like, that's a 3-2 start. You never know with that TCU game. Yes, Baylor's lost to TCU more times than not, but anything can happen in a rivalry. Then Baylor owns Kansas and they've owned UCF. Not own UCF, but they should. I think Baylor's better than UCF. I think so. Yes, the travel factor is going to be real. I know it will be. And Iowa State's dealing with the new head coach and staff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's 6 wins right there. And it's hot, like right there. It's not even mentioning, like, what if you beat Houston on the road? But obviously, if they were to beat an Auburn or an Arizona State or even both, that would really help their cause. I mean, and I know it's way too early, but I do think aim for or better, Dave Aranda stays. I think so. But 7-5, I wouldn't think so. Or 6-6 or worse, obviously. I don't think so. So there are winnable games on the schedule. And I'm not going to give a definite loss to Auburn in a, quote, neutral site game. Right now, I'm calling that the way it is. It's just a toss-up game. A lot of new for them. New head coach. And yes, they're bringing some USF players over. But that's a different level from, like, group of 6 level to the P4 level. That is a different level. And it's game number 1. And obviously, if Baylor were to beat Auburn and Arizona State, they could be very well 5-0 prior to that TCU game. And homecoming, by the way, is on November 7th against Iowa State. So that's just my way too early thoughts. Like I said, I need to see the rosters, what they return, what they added in, whether it's from the transfer portal, high school, JUCO, ranks here. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe, and see you guys later on the road. 800 subscribers, Score's ultimate goal is 1,000 more. Some more money. This course, like video, comment really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see it, sharing the video does help as well. Some more people can watch, and if you're watching and not subscribe, hit subscribe button for the notification bell as well. It's not even mentioning what Baylor is bringing into. All right, not just for the opponents. but for Baylor as well. I'm not going to give my knee-jerk reactions on, oh, they're only going to win 3 games right now. I think there are some winnable games on the schedule that they should at least win 1 Big 12 game or even 2 at the worst. But like I said, I need to see what happens on the roster for everybody, including Baylor in all this.